Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, why did I talk so fast? You weren't trying to rush, you knew what you wanted to say, but in the moment, something else just took over. Your words sped up, your breathing changed, and you barely gave yourself any time to think between sentences. This used to happen to me more than I would like to admit, especially when I was nervous or when I wanted to make a good impression. And for a long time, I just assumed it was a personality thing. That I talked fast because that's who I was and that's it. But that's not really what was going on. In this video, I'm going to show you what's actually happening when you speak too fast, why it affects your communication more than you think, and what you can do to slow things down in a way that feels natural and real. And also, if this type of content resonates with you, you should definitely hit subscribe and check out the link down below. Let's dive right into it. Let's start with the science behind it. When you get nervous, your body activates something called the sympathetic nervous system. And that's what prepares you for action when it sees a challenge. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, and blood flows away from your gut into your actual limbs. And your thoughts start to move fast as your brain scans for what's coming next. And this isn't a conscious process. This happens automatically, whether you like it or not. And in those moments, like when you speak up in a meeting or introduce yourself to someone new or just get asked a very simple question in front of a group, your body doesn't know the difference between physical danger and social pressure. To your system, they both feel like a threat. So it does what it's built to do. Help you survive the situation, pull you through it. It tries to move you through the moment as fast as possible, because if you can get through it, the threat will be over. And that's the logic your nervous system is running on. And one of the easiest ways to do that is just to talk faster. That way you will get through the situation much sooner. Words speed up, sentences run together, there's little space between your ideas and you might not even notice it until you're mid-sentence, and by then the pace is hard to interrupt. This is how many people experience communication under pressure, and the more often it happens, the more it gets locked in as a habit and harder to overcome. Not because it's the best way to speak, but because it's the way your body has learned to cope with the situation. This doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your system is trying to keep you safe, just in a way that doesn't serve your communication well. Speaking too fast might not seem like a big deal, especially if you've gotten used to it, but the effects are bigger than most people realize. First of all, it affects the people listening to you. When you speak quickly, you reduce the time they have to process your message. It becomes harder to follow even if the content is solid. And when people can't follow you, they start to tune out, even if they don't mean to. It just becomes too much effort to follow along, and therefore they tune out and will stop listening to you. It also impacts how your message lands emotionally. Fast speech often lacks the natural pauses that help people connect with your tone, your intention. And when your delivery moves too quickly, it can sound unsure or rushed, even when your ideas are solid. And then it affects how people see you. We make impressions very quickly, and pace is one of the signals people use. If someone hears you racing through a response, your message, they might interpret it as nervousness, or that you're not fully confident in what you're actually saying, even if that's not the case. And then most importantly, it affects your experience as the speaker. When you're talking too fast, you don't feel fully in control of the situation. You're reacting rather than choosing your pace, and that will make you feel disconnected from your own message. You might finish speaking and feel unsure about how it went, not because you didn't know your stuff, but because the delivery didn't reflect what you actually intended, because you talked too fast. And over time, this becomes incredibly frustrating. You start to question how you come across. You may even start avoiding situations where you need to speak up, and you just avoid the discomfort. And that avoidance shrinks your opportunities, both professionally and personally. And this is why it matters, because Communication isn't just about getting your ideas out, it's about having your ideas being heard, understood, and actually felt in the moment. And if your pace is getting in the way of that, it's worth understanding why and start to work on it. So what can you actually do in order to improve the pace of your speaking? Well, there are a few small adjustments that help interrupt the pattern of speaking very, very quickly. First of all, probably the most underrated thing you can do in order to calm your nervous system, in order to help you speak slower, is start with your breath. Before you speak, take a slow breath in through your nose and let it throughout your mouth. Do it again if you need to, do it 10 times if you need to, just to calm your nerves, because your nervous system is the main factor of why you're speaking too quickly. So you have to calm it down in order to speak more calmly. It's about sending a signal to your nervous system that the moment is safe, that you don't need to rush, and this helps you slow your pace from the inside out. And then comes something that I'm always going to talk about. I've talked about it 100 times before, and I will say it a million times again. Build in a pause. Pausing is one of the most powerful tools you have in order to actually make your message land, calm your own nerves, and help the people listening to you understand what you're saying. Try this the next time someone asks you a question. You can do it right before you answer, or give your first sentence and then let a short pause happen. It doesn't have to be long, just enough to collect your own thoughts. It's a way to present, it helps your listener catch up, and which makes your message easier to follow. And then I want you to really set your tone with your language. If you notice yourself speeding up, name it. Put a name on it. Say, let me take a second to explain this clearly. That line doesn't make you seem unsure. It does the opposite. It shows that you're actually choosing to be thoughtful, and it brings attention to the quality of the conversation, not just the content. When you say something like, let me take a second to explain this clearly, it not only gives you time to organize what you're saying, slow down, take a breath, pause, structure your thoughts, it will also make you seem confident and sure in what you're actually saying. It's about being aware of what you're actually doing in the situation. Once you notice the moments that trigger your pace, you can start to change how you respond to it. If you've been beating yourself up for talking too fast, this is your reminder. It's not a flaw, it's a learned response. Your body picks up a habit to help you feel safe in the situation. But now you're learning something new. You're learning how to communicate in a way that reflects how much you care about your message, how much you care about being understood. If you want help making this shift, I'd love to support you. Via the link down below, I offer a free strategy session where we take a look at how you're communicating right now, what's getting in your way in order to become a better communicator, and how to build a plan that works for you, and how to think and speak well. The link down below, book yours now, and if this helped, subscribe. I share tools like this every week to help you speak with more clarity, confidence, and calm. See you in the next video. Bye bye.